Hey everyone, welcome back to Animal Kingdom. Welcome back to Rolling Across the Pond. We're doing a tea break today for Animal Kingdom episode 14 and 15. We're clumping them together because they are kind of along the same lines and whatnot. So we're clumping them together, even though they are kind of separate. And episode 15 is part one of this of our kind of climactic ending to the arc. I'm your GM Jesse, and I'm with the rest of the crew. I'm with Sam, Lee, Davida. Yeah, Mike, our special guest, is here. He's joining us for this tea break. So if you have any 2 cents or whatever you want to impart on us, then go for it. And we have our wonderful, loyal Luke to end this.
I thought you just forgot about me, so I was just like...
That's
Because
exactly.
you wave and give thumbs up on an audio podcast. It doesn't transfer really well in the audio medium, but I always appreciate it.
That's when Jesse says that I wave, because it's kind of a tradition.
Oh, yes.
It is a tradition of Luke's. I love it.
So we're going to talk about those episodes. We're also going to banter about life and whatnot. We haven't had all of us together in, like 5 months, 4 months?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Long time.
Yeah. So, yeah. If you can do this in 2 minutes, tell me how everyone is doing.
Okay, I got to talk really fast because I got a lot. I'm kidding. No. Went to got back from camping on last week, and I went to Grand Tetons, which is a national park in Wyoming. Beautiful mountains. Really fun camping trip. Then the next day I went to Knott's Berry Farm for my birthday with my brother and my nephew, and it was his first time at Knott's Berry Farm, so a theme park here. And that's where I work as well. And so I got him in for free. We did that. I've been doing a lot of like craft room renovations, trying to get my workspace all fixed up. And then I had a birthday party last night, which was pretty fun. Just watched an outdoor movie, National Treasure, classic, great one. So been pretty good. Lots of stuff going on, busy, but fun.
Cool.
So yeah.
Great. Sounds awesome. I miss Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
So I recently got back from Ireland, so I've spent a couple of weeks walking from Ross Trevor in Northern Ireland, which is right on the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic, and then walked roughly following the border all the way along to Londonderry, which is roughly 200 miles. I don't know what that is in kilometers. Sorry, you'll have to Google it. It was basically a bit of a peace pilgrimage, and it was a lot of fun. Made some really good friends, and but that's pretty much the highlight of my last month.
Do you want the Canadian answer or the Canadian answer?
Yes.
It's not that hard of a question, Jesse. But I'm doing all right. But the more like Canadian answer where it's honest is, I don't know why I'm very nervous. There's a lot of things going on at this moment. Not necessarily here, but like with my like work and school and tons of fires, but
In Canada?
metaphorical fires.
Oh.
Jesse.
I don't know. Literally in California, if you say there's loads of fires, there's literally loads of fires.
True.
But there's just a lot happening at the moment, so I'm very nervous, and I'm very happy to just be here for the tea time, to just relax.
It's been good. I mean, I've recently come back from holiday. I spent some time in Plymouth with my family and also with some friends down there. Did some more recording for my YouTube channel, so expect that content to come out on my good friend Dave's and my channel. It should be good fun. We play some Marvel Champions. So,
Do you want to drop the name?
Yeah, sure. Dave's channel is called the Energon Hustlers, aka very Transformers related. It was really good fun. Recently for us, we had a big tournament for Transformers, speaking of the game, and we had 16 of the most highly ranked players in the league that we're a part of playing a tournament using cards that were used before the game got cancelled and selected cards that were created by the fans, including our fan set. And we had 16 players. And for a tournament, it was very rare to have 14 of those players use different decks, which shows how diverse the game is right now. And a lot of praise was used for our cards. So I took great pride in that. And a character that I wanted to make really good ended up finishing twice in the top 5. So I'm very grateful for that. So obviously I did something right in card design. So so that was exciting. And we're currently working on our next set of stuff. So if I'm not doing this or editing my channel or going to work, I'm working on that. So exciting, fun times.
Yes, fun, busy times.
I know.
I don't know. I feel like compared to everybody else, it's been boring. But like Luke, I'm kind of in the same boat as Luke. There's this stuff going on in life in general that has me a little nervous too, but it'll all work out. So yeah, other than that, I don't know, getting my daughter ready to start preschool. So
whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, my son's starting year 1, so
no, it's not possible.
Weird. So weird. Crazy times. Yeah, I'm doing well. I mean, everybody's been sick constantly, so I've been taking care of them. Otherwise, editing, doing work stuff, didn't really travel. I mean, best news happened yesterday. I got my citizenship approved, or not my citizenship, my spouse visa. So I'm able to be here for another 2.5 years.
Nice.
Congratulations, Jess.
Yeah, thanks. It was a huge stress on the family.
So, I was gonna say that's woo, but also I want
No.
you
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We will hopefully visit soon in America. That's the plan. Yeah.
But we're going to keep you forever, Jesse.
Well, we're kind of stuck in the UK, but
It's the nicest way to put it. It's like, I love the UK, but we're stuck here. I like that.
Exactly. But yeah, we are trying. My brother's getting married, so I'm gonna hopefully get down there for that.
Game night, my place.
With 2 kids?
Yeah,
I don't think
literally
so.
the night before the wedding is like, we're having a game night round mine.
Game night. Let's get Keith and Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
And then Jesse can fit me and Lee in his suitcase, and
Yeah.
No way, it's so expensive to have.
I'm like, that's a lot of.
There's a will and a way to get someone through another country. I believe it's a certain part of the web, Jess.
Yeah, again,
Amazon,
it's going
right?
to cost a lot of money. Anyways.
Not if you know the right people. And Sam and me are very willing, I think, so it's fine. We're willing participants.
I Constantino well.
Yeah, I'm doing okay overall. But let's get into the episodes. Now, again, we're doing episode 14, which is Sneaking. I think that's what I named it. And episode 15, which is The Three Kings Part 1. And so we're going to kind of... speaking, not that I didn't enjoy making these episodes, but as a listener, I understand it is a very... let's have a chat. Like I listened to this one podcast where literally they took 15 steps, maybe even 5 steps. They talk about it in the episode. They took 5 steps, talked for the rest, like an hour and a half, and then the episode ended. And I felt like kind of that's what we did, even though there were moments where it was like, oh, we're progressing, and then it kind of stopped. And then, of course, I stopped it because of the climactic moment after, in the end of 15, with Leaf and Goro. But that's for a good reason. It's a fight that we want to wait and see. So yeah, what did you guys think of these 2 episodes?
Yeah, this was at least for Hava, we have her starting to discover a little bit more about her background. Not a whole lot yet. A lot of stuff are still in the dark, but she's starting to feel more empowered. She's owning up a little bit to her heritage of coming from a barbarian dog culture, tribe, or whatever. She's usually been so peaceful with the otter folk and stuff, but since being around Goro, she becomes a little bit more violent. and now she's taking ownership and becoming a little bit more of a leader type. Now that I'm not playing with or now that the companions that Hava's with are a little bit less like they know exactly what they want to do, like not to say that Luke doesn't know what he wants to do, but reader doesn't necessarily know what he wants to do. So it's left a lot of the decision making up to me and Hava. So very I think for me when I was this was a long time ago when we recorded this, probably a year ago, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
probably. It was like one of the first episodes that my daughter was a part of.
oh yeah, this being that at this point of me playing D&D, I have just been like learning. Now I have to make these decisions, and I really don't know what. There's so many things I could do or say or whatever. How do I stick with my character, but also make decisions that have big repercussions, and yeah, perhaps not always making the right decisions, but just basically doing my best. And I don't know, I feel like I did like this, and I like the way that we had the Hava's dream, because we wanted to start bringing in Hava's backstory. So she had the dream about her parents, a strong warrior, mother or whatever, and being like having that dream and being able to start visualizing basically what her where she's come from and taking ownership, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. With a little bit of prank, thing, and a little also just playing the ditzy character, because she doesn't really know what's going on as far as like Bluetooth headphones and whatever squirrel pranks, but that's fun.
Luke, why don't you kind of say your perspective on that as well, and then we'll go to the other two, and then Mike, you can...
Yeah, I was thinking that because it kind of ties in with what Jesse has said and what Davida has said. Is I felt bad in that moment where there's this huge revelation, and I'm like, how does a socially awkward, not necessarily intelligent individual respond to this big life-altering revelation? So I'm very glad for the edit that's in the episode, because I'm just like, there's a lot of that too, where it's like it's hard to. It was a poor decision to make his entire personality the one who listens to Hava, because now, yeah, like you said, Davida, you have to make all the decisions now. But plus, playing the one that's like, oh, I know all of this so well because it's in reader's past, but it's also in my future. Like, I think we've only recorded like the first episode of Hormone Chronicles at this point.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, the last mission. I know exactly what you're referring to.
But yeah, so that's crazy, because you've got to try and come up with like something in your head, like some sort of idea of like, and so I mean, it makes sense that you didn't want to just share that with Hava, because obviously you don't know exactly what happens, and and also Hava she's not clued in enough to realize that you're like keeping something from her at this point or whatever. And so, or even just like the whole thing with the Bluetooth, the earphone piece, like she isn't clued in the fact that you're talking to other people. And then for some reason, reader just doesn't choose to, or like he doesn't realize that like Hava doesn't know what's happening or something.
Because that is more reader, because he's socially awkward or like socially inept.
Right.
It was like,
so that works.
I don't understand this.
Character.
She doesn't understand this.
Yeah.
That everyone that I've met beforehand in this group knows.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's great for the comedic part, especially the fact that like everybody hears everything whenever the headphones are in.
Listeners, you'll hear a lot more of that when when I'm trying to think of when I'm talking to like Caesar, being like, "Oh yes, that final mission where that stuff happens." Trying to be very vague yet like a normal-ish or a reader normal conversation with somebody is very difficult.
Yeah.
And I do feel bad listening to the episode because I'm like, oh, I wish my brain thought of things at that moment, like because I feel like that could have been
Same.
a good dramatic scene, but like I don't know how somebody socially awkward can have like a good dramatic moment and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I feel like I have listening back to the episodes and having a little more experience and just knowing what has happened after the fact. Hindsight is 2020, and I really just wishing I had done some things different. But it is what it is, and well, you guys will see. You guys will figure out what happens, but there are some regrets. So I'll just leave you with that. But you guys, you can listen in and the next episode, see what happens. But yeah, definitely would have done some things different, but probably asked more questions and been a little bit more peaceable. But I think she's missing Goro, and so she just wants to be violent. And apparently, the only option is violence. Apparently, in Hava's brain. I was talking to my sister, and she was like, really? Because we listened to the episode together. We were camping, so the last episode that came out, and as I'm listening to it as well, I'm just like, okay, we tried the sneaky option, we tried the bargaining, I guess, and we tried to bargain our way out, or I don't know, something like that, talking out, and none of those work. So I decide to rally the everyone, all, and I'm like, I hadn't been in many D&D battles, and I just wanted to have a big battle, apparently, even though I didn't really think through the repercussions of what a big battle would be and would do. But apparently that's the only option that Hava could think of, or that I could think of in the moment. I'm so glad Jesse edited it too, because we were humming and hawing well, at least I was, for like so long.
Oh yeah, it's long. I'm not gonna lie. Jesse told me how long it was, and then he gave it to me to put all the music in and stuff. And then I was like, mate, we can cut this out a little bit. And even I cut out certain bits so it sounds a little bit more epic, should we say, and more like structured as well. Because I was like, holy cow, this is definitely insane. Like this just took a turn from like, yeah, we're gonna do this, Oh no, okay, I'll just put on my I don't know, I called it like Captain America speech, because you just rallied everyone and just like, let's go fight. We got this. Like Gandalf and Riders of
that was
Rohan
a good
moment.
cut. It was a good cut, because there was a lot of things in there that I was like, we could do this or we could do that, but our only option is to attack. And so, well, eventually I came to that decision. So it was a good idea to just cut out all the humming and hawing beforehand.
Yeah, there's a lot of music coming that I'm excited to use, because obviously with all the stuff we have, we've got our normal battle music and other stuff like that, and where things are going to progress in the next couple of episodes, it's like, cool, we can use the same kind of cool stuff, which gives everyone like, oh yeah, this is going to be the fight music or whatever. But there's definitely some really good stuff coming, and some shenanigans coming as well. Like like,
well, and then one of the things I wish I would have done is talk to the bat, or find the bat. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of that until later, but our bat friend at Daggers and Coffee, I think that he would have been a helpful ally.
Still my favorite character that we have not explored more of.
The guy from Daggers and Coffee, I rolled for him to join so many times, and it never just worked. It just didn't. He just never showed up.
I've got a gut feeling he's like surviving. He's rebuilding his store in the remains of that city. I love it. He's just like excavating it and just like, yeah, he'll be back. Trust me.
Wait, but was Or there? He was the
Or did end up going there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the bird in the sky, right?
Yes.
Which I didn't know if had that name mentioned before. So should I say, oh, it's Or?
I think it was mentioned.
I agree with what Luke was saying, because by this point as well, and because he's the first official cast member to have a side project, that he's got two worlds colliding and he doesn't know what to say. It's kind of funny in that edit, because it's like for a while he's like, oh yeah, I can't say this, can't say that. It's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Well, just wait, listeners, because that happens constantly in the next arc.
The master of editing.
Okay.
Jess. Master of editing.
But Luke, I do want to know, Luke, did you realize that when after what was it? Oh no, because when Jesse described, because I don't know, Jesse, did you, when you described Caesar as being white and then blue, did you realize the difference? Like you knew that he was a different color?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you realize that, Luke, when you were meeting him?
I mentioned it in the most Canadian way possible.
Okay, because I barely missed it. I barely got it.
But
Okay, I was like, I don't think I got it.
I was like, wait, okay, yeah, he's
No, yeah.
Do we find this out, Jess? Are we going to find this out later
Yes.
in Hermit Chronicles?
In the
why he
next
changed colors?
episode of Hermit Chronicles, it explains it.
yes.
Okay.
Which is why Hermit Chronicles has not been released yet, because this arc needs to kind of finish for it to be released.
Oh, got it. Okay. Good to know. Because I've been wondering why he changes color. And I know I've got it confused myself. So, yeah.
Yeah.
With the whole Santa thing, when I thought I knew him as blue, but I'd only knew him as white, and then I thought I was pretending that I knew him as blue because I just listened to Hermit Chronicles, so I was like, yeah, he's blue, and then he's white again. But I was
and I do agree with you, Jesse. I sometimes worry that these characters aren't entertaining because I'm spending so much time being like, so I can talk about blah blah, and also like, how do I talk to this person in the most non-charismatic way, and just kind of put everything together. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you like it.
So, Davida, with the whole royalty thing coming to kind of like, because that's kind of what you and I have talked about privately, and it's starting to kind of glimmer out, like little glimpses. What are you looking forward to in that? What are you nervous about in that? Like,
well, so when we were coming up with my character and stuff, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to be like the Lost Princess sort of thing. I was inspired by Rapunzel. I like that story a lot. And where she doesn't really know where she's coming from, but she begins to realize, that she has, well, I don't know if she kind of realizes that when she puts the crown on, she realizes like, oh, this, like, I don't know. And I kind of liked that kind of like different, I liked that storyline or whatever. So I kind of went with that for Hava's storyline. But so with Hava, I think at this point, she doesn't really know. She doesn't know that she's royalty, but I think she begins to sense or just take ownership. Like, and I did mention this a little bit when you had stepped out. But like, yeah, how she's sensing that she has more say. People listen to her. She has like definitely, like when she makes a decision, people don't really question her. They just go along with her. They follow her. She's beginning to be more of a leader type.
Yeah.
And feels comfortable in that too.
Cool. Great. Yeah. Right. Another question for Goro or Lee. For as far as the listeners know, for 14 episodes, no, maybe even less than that, 13 episodes, we'll say 13 episodes, you say Goro is not going to sneak. Goro's not going to sneak. Goro's too massive to sneak. As soon as you get to the kingdom, you're like, I am sneaking in there. That's the only option I have.
Yeah, that is true. But also the fact is, everyone knows your boy is a wanted man and he's going into the hornet's nest. So the boy doesn't want to get like caught. And as we've always said, with an 8-foot turtle walking around the streets, we're very rare. So from a mile off, people are going to find me, and then more scarier people will come. So yeah, sneaking had to happen. So
And he's been hanging
kinda
out with me.
happens. Yeah, and it was kind of nice to have that moment with Leaf. I'm not gonna lie, to actually perform
The moment
stealth.
where Leaf failed and you succeeded.
Yeah, it's rare. It was weird.
Fair.
Jesse, so question, did you have like a ton of like, I don't know, outcomes had Goro just gone in with like
Oh
trying
yeah.
not to see?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, most probably. I knew.
It was so many things.
I was
simple.
planning it out like in my
It
head.
starts
Like,
with
I
a
need
D.
the stealth. Yeah, it does, Sam. I agree. It begins with a D. Ends in a H, I think.
Yeah,
But I
something like
felt
that.
like going
5
into that
letters.
game,
No.
I felt like it was going to be bad, just
I think
because.
it's an H, not a H.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Americanism.
We are an inclusive
Ooh.
podcast here. We
Okay.
are an inclusive podcast.
I like
Like
how
you spell it
all,
aluminium.
I'm like the only like thing I say is just shade it.
Just shade.
Just shade.
Wait, Luke, do
shade.
you guys say H or H in Canada?
He's gonna
I
say
don't
both.
know. I'm not that introspective.
He's like, I'm like,
I'm not introspective. You were.
I don't want to
100%
if you
argue.
spell the
introspective.
alphabets, if you go through the alphabet, what do you say when you get to H?
Come on, sing the ABCs, Luke.
EFGHIJK. Yeah.
H.
Okay. H. All right.
Hey, should we
You
just
heard
get
it
the
from the
bell out
Canadian.
now and just go
Ah.
shame?
But for the record, Jesse has mocked my accent so many times. I don't.
True. I have. I can't help it.
But to be honest, like in the back of my mind, all I felt was like he's gonna do something horrible, and I felt like Indiana Jones going into any kind of temple that there's gonna be some sort of absolute death round every corner and everything. So I was like, I have to stealth. This is so not me, but I have to. So
The fact that you rolled a natural 20 saved your life 100%. Like
I know the
like-
one time, and trust me, I don't roll that many 20s, but they're epic.
Otherwise, so many things were gonna go wrong. Like as soon as you failed, it was gone. Like everything you had was gonna go, but you made it, and you convinced somebody to take you
Yeah.
the whole the entire way. Where it was insane to me.
That was so awesome.
It is, and then the next part is even more insane, guys. So look forward to that. But no, it was really cool because it was like, obviously I've had the opportunity of editing these and stuff, and Jess pre-warned me, was like, I love one episode, I think it was episode 14 he loved, and episode 15 he didn't like as much because it was just like, here's backstory and all exposition and stuff that we want to do, and we'll throw it at you all in one episode, which isn't bad to do because it was a huge information dump. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
it was, but it's worth it because obviously the build up for it, and then what we know and what you guys out there, the listeners, don't know, is exciting. And it's kind of funny to have because our podcast, we always seem to have like some sort of action and interaction, and to have an episode where literally we're talking and then you can see where our characters are going to be going, and then it's like, okay, we're going to just have non-stop action soon with not a lot of talking, just a lot of like fights and all the stuff
not
that
talking.
everyone wants. Well, let's just be honest. We're talking to a king, and we all know how
Well,
that
I just
ended up
mean-
in that episode.
I mean, the characters are talking, but
Okay,
the
the
game,
characters,
as in the players, are 100% talking to each other.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like editing them is funny because I'm like, Sam and me did it on a separate day compared to Luke. It was very different because it's kind of funny because it's like, I don't know what the heck is happening, and then editing these, I'm like, oh yeah, I wasn't there for that session, and then my jaw hits the floor with like visions and loads of other cool stuff. So I'm like, oh,
No, overall,
it's kind of
it
fun
was
to like hear it before everyone else as well, before the magic and all that stuff. So it was like,
Yeah, me and Luke had more availability, so we actually got to listen into their recording when they recorded their stuff. But when we did our things, Lee and Sam weren't available, so they're hearing it for the first
your
time.
reactions were insane. That's the most unfortunate thing with the Patreon, was like your reactions are unfortunately not available for video recording, but literally the reactions to our craziness and your craziness, like I'm looking forward to it. But I don't want to keep talking about it, but it's exciting.
So, Sam, as I wouldn't say like a secondary character, but as a character who's basically your life, as you said, constantly was not on the line. Like, you kept saying, "Oh, I'll just sneak away. I'll leave. They don't care about me. If they catch you, I'll just go." Like, or like, "Oh yeah, let's just go in the dungeon. You know me in dungeons." Like you kept saying like, there's no sweat off my brow. There's no problem. So why, like, how did it feel to kind of be in that kind of space, like to where Goro or Lee was like, "I'm gonna die as soon as I step in here." What was your kind of like mental state of like what was that cost for you in a way?
Well, there's lots of shiny things in cities.
That's fair.
But also, like, I've been with Goro for quite a while at this point. We've spent quite a bit of time, and Goro has saved my life quite a few times. So, in some ways, I think Leaf is just trying to repay the favor. Like, he knows Goro is heading into difficulty, and yeah, there is a sense of comradeship of like, yes, we're in this together, so I'm gonna see this through. But hey, I can always run away if I need to, right? I mean, that's always an option, running away.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and then the beautiful moment of knowing that, like, after the whole, okay, how do we get in? What's going on? To have me say, "Oh yeah," and he's just here from Uber's trying to keep up with and then you just hear Lee go, "Oh my goodness, I forgot about Uber."
Forgot about Uber.
Always forget about that guy.
It was
Always forget
beautiful.
about
It was a
Uber.
beautiful moment of like, yep, Uber is still with you guys. He's
Yep. He is. I think the thing though as well, it was kind of weird. Like, obviously, Leaf is really like, let's be honest, the rocket to the group of Goro. Let's be honest, and to have Goro literally have that little moment of just like, we're probably gonna die, but I just want to let you guys know I classify you as friends, was kind of a heartfelt moment. I was like, that's the right thing to do, because he doesn't know the outcome of the situation he's working in, but he has changed from what he used to be. And he still shows his old self, and he's still trying to mature that way, but he's still like his dad and thinks of fists before, anything, and he's trying to change. But, when you build a character, you don't want to stray too far off the path. So I hate looking at it and I'm like, gosh, I need to do this because I wrote it down and I have to do it. And Jess knows this way too well, and just he's like, I don't like Goro, so I'm just going to make sure I push all the buttons that make him do stuff because I know his character sheet. Which is great, but it is good fun, and it's kind of cool, and yeah, like everyone's had their moments, and I think it's
definitely
gonna be fun, like seeing what happens, and like there's just so much going on. Like, it's like where you think of where we began in Animal Kingdom to where we are now is like
so strange. I will tell you also, listeners, like I think I've said this 100 times before, Goro and Leaf going to the Golden Kingdom, not in my plans at all. That was like 5 levels from now. Like, they were all gonna go, they were all gonna figure out life. So the fact that they split was a huge thing. But the fact that they went to the Golden Kingdom completely, I was like, well, I don't even know if I can save these guys. Like, so whatever happens. But yeah, this whole buildup. I don't know if you can even hear it in my voice, but I'm like, sure, like, I guess, like, yeah, why, I'm not scared for your guys' lives right now.
There's a lot of there was a lot of moving parts, which made, I think, that basically easily made Goro's thing, but no one wanted to. Like, King Darren didn't go to the thing, and that big event happened, so he immediately goes, he's probably behind it, so let's go find out and see how much of a douche he is. And in that conversation, within the first 5 minutes, he's like, oh, why did I come here then? And that immediately is like, mic drop, light bulb moment in a way, and going, oh, I shouldn't have come here. This is the worst thing ever, and I brought 2 friends along with me. This isn't good.
And then to find out that there was nobody at the barracks, like, just one panda dude, and he was kind of a pushover anyways. Yeah.
It's a nice panda.
Yeah, it was cool. It was alright. Mike, do you have any comments?
No, I'm slightly. Well, I'm in the I'm kind of in the dark like the rest of everyone. So it's like I'm really excited for what's gonna happen next.
Sure.
And unfortunately, I know the like the full outcome, but I don't know how we get there.
Sure.
So it's pretty cool to see. Like I don't know. I'm excited to see how we get to where it's going. That makes sense.
Yeah, because you and a certain other individual who will eventually appear on our podcasts sat in on that session, didn't you? Because that was kind of like our group's introduction to you guys, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
it was,
Was it this
no.
episode or the next episode that you sat in?
It was the last. It was
I
the
sat
past
in
one.
before.
oh yeah, yes,
Ah,
you
I
did.
sat
Oh,
in
okay, I remember now.
on the
Yeah.
village
Right.
where
The rep-
where they met
yeah.
Luke. And,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
yeah.
after that I didn't hear. I haven't. And then
Wow.
it was a real shock getting
Getting into the next one.
getting
Yeah.
into the next portion of this. So
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So Mike and another guest you probably have heard and have not known. Back to the episode. So Luke, with knowing from episode 14, where you were you knew Caesar already, and then you knew Hava's past, like that. And I know you've talked about this a bit of like what you can and can't say. But as reader, what was your, like, I know you were trying to bring like the bowing and stuff to the table, but with that, what was going through reader's head in general of that situation and trying to still be composed?
Yeah, I did talk about this a little bit, but I can add new information towards it. It what was going through my head in that time was like how a like socially awkward person reacts in a dramatic way to be like, oh yeah, this is a major thing that happened. Also keeping in mind that like the way that I, Luke, know about this is like one text message from or one Facebook message from Jesse being like, oh yeah, and by the way, Hava's a princess. Oh yeah, to think of how a socially awkward person reacts to such a deep revelation was so powerful and impactful that my brain could not think of a good way for me to react. So I'm very so thank you so much for how you edited it. But during the episode, I'm like, wow, yeah, he's dumbfounded. Yeah, he can't think of a thing. I even the snickerdoodle thing was specifically put there so that I could have more time to think about like a good way to react. But yeah, even so, when you are listening, if you re-listen to the episode, the like I'm so sorry at the end of talking with Caesar is Luke saying, I'm sorry, I didn't I should have done something better. But
That's so funny. Yeah, no, it was good. You played it off well. It is true. And listeners, I did talk with Davida before talking with Luke, so that way that storyline would still be mystery, and it's still kind of a mystery. And we will, like I said, it will be kind of unpacked a bit more in Hermit Chronicles soon, and definitely unpacked in the next arc or two. Yeah. Right. Any last minute comments? Cool. Great. So yeah, that's it. That's good. So that's episode 14 and 15. Hold on to your seats for episodes 16, 17, 18. They are amazing. And yeah, I'm excited for what's to come. And as Leah said many times, we're all excited for it. Yeah. See you then.
Bring it
We'll talk
on.
about it soon.
Bring it
Yeah.
on.
Bring it on.
Yes, the battles
Bring it
commence. All right. Till next time. Davida, you want to take us out?
Right, yeah, so check us out on our Instagram, Rolling Across the Pond. You can email us hello@rollingacrossthepond.com, and can go to our website, rollingacrossthepond.com, where you can access our podcasts and our Patreon, our merch, and you can listen to the podcast there and tell your friends. We want more people to listen, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Luke waved.